Hey guys, it's Snailbiter, and I've got another World of Tanks replay that I wanted to show you guys. And just for a change of pace from all the Japanese tank replays that I've been showing, I thought I'd show you guys a replay with the E-100. This is a round on Abbey, which is a map that I like for the most part. I think it's pretty good. And so I'm still relatively new to playing the E-100. At this point, I hadn't yet unlocked the 15 centimeter gun. As you can see right now, I've just got the E75 gun, the 128. But at this, I have actually at this point unlocked the 15 centimeter gun, but I'm still learning how to use it a little bit. Mainly, I wanted to show this replay because I think it includes some pretty good use of angling and just kind of tactics in general that I've started to find have worked well with this tank. As I said, I'm still getting used to playing this, and I'm not as comfortable with heavy tanks as I am with medium tanks. So particularly with a tank like the E-100, which is fairly slow and not that mobile, I'm still getting used to it. But this was a good round I had that I wanted to show you guys, so I'll get it started here. And actually, I'll fast forward this first couple minutes. I'm going to go to the west here. I never go to the east on this map. I just think it's a really slow and inefficient way to progress across this map. I think the west is much more important. So that's the direction I almost always go in. And so I'm gonna try to push up here. This Indian Panther's being a bit aggressive, and I'm gonna try to support him. I actually didn't mind playing with the E75's gun, the 128. I thought it was, it was good enough for as a tier 10 or for a tier 10 tank. I mean, it has better penetration than the 15 centimeter. So I found it to be perfectly usable. Having that extra alpha damage though is nice with the 15 centimeter. So I pushed up here aggressively to this rock, and I'm going to try to side scrape. There, an artillery shell lands behind me. I put one shot into that Centurion and another shot into the T-62A to get them to back off. And now our Waffle's moved up, and he's in a bit of a bad position. I don't think he can get really effective shots in that T-62. And the T-62 can shoot him in the turret, so I'm going to try to move up and put pressure on this guy to try to help out the Waffle. I mean, he's a very dangerous tank, and we want to keep him alive as long as possible. I didn't really want to side scrape around this corner because I knew the Centurion was to my right, and so if I did that, he would get easy side shots on me. So I'm just going to kind of peek around this corner. I get a good shot on the Waffle, and he gets taken out, although we lose our Waffle. And it looks like the other guys on the other side of this hill, that Foch and the E-103, were able to push pretty effectively. So we actually cleaned those guys up pretty quickly. And there I take a bit of a bad shot. That T-28 Proto dipped really low. And the Indian Panther gets killed by artillery. Seems to be focusing pretty heavily on this flank. So we're down by 3 tanks at this point. Looking at the team composition, our team seemed to be better, but we had a few guys push up really aggressively, it looks like, on the eastern flank, and they met a whole bunch of tier 10 tank destroyers, and it looks like they got taken out pretty quickly. And there's still some tanks here left on this flank, but at this point I decided to turn around because I know that it's just the Object 268, and to a lesser extent that tier 9 Waffle, the Waffenträger of Panzer IV, holding the base. So I'm going to turn around and head back. I wanted the rest of these guys here to do that too, because there was no reason for them to keep pushing here if some of us were gonna go back to base. In my mind, I was thinking it would have been a lot better if our entire team had gone back to base and taken out the enemies on the other flank, and then we could have gone back and dealt with some of these guys who were playing defensively. So our bad chat's in the middle there, and I see the C69 get spotted. I'm gonna see if I can get a shot on him. And I get a pretty nice shot through the rubble there. And now the Batchat's looks like going to push up on him. So hopefully, I was thinking the Batchat could take care of him. And unfortunately, it looks like he gets flanked by a T-71. And I had wanted to, or if I had been paying me a little more attention, I could have shot him earlier. But unfortunately, the T-71 gets the kill on the Batchat, who was one of our best players. So that was kind of unfortunate to have him die there. It would have been really helpful if he had lived, or if he had won that situation. So now I'm going back, and you can see the Foch that went back with me has gone all the way up past our base and is actually kind of pushing pretty aggressively into that E-100, which I think is a bad idea, especially considering, I mean, there you can see the T-69 is shooting him in the side. He's losing health. And I think Artie's going to take him out in a moment here. So ideally what he should have done, I think, is waited for me and stayed behind the base, kind of where this other the T9 Waffle, the Waffle Panzer IV is. And then we could have just defended, really, as opposed to trying to push up into the, I mean, at least at this point, it seems like only the E-100 that's attacking our base. So I guess the argument could be made that I should have stayed and kept fighting on that, in the northwestern area, but I decided it was more important to make sure our base was secure. And there, GW Tiger gets a really nice shot into the E-100. And then we lose the rest of the guys in the north. So there's a Foch 155, Waffentrager F-100, and M103 still alive over there, and there's a 268 on the 8 line, and I don't really know how much health he has. I haven't done a ton so far this game. I do have over 3,000 damage, but only 1 kill. I spent a fair amount of time kind of going back and forth, which is, I mean, you don't want to have to do that too much in a tank like the E-100, because it takes a while to get to places. But at this point, I'm just trying to set up in a good ambush position. I want to be in a spot where I can spot anything before it gets too close to me, so that I don't have to be too worried about getting flanked and surrounded or circled. So I decide to stop here because there's a bit of a lip in the terrain that'll protect my lower plate. So I'm hull down here, and I angle my turret right at the corner of that hill, and the M103 pops around the corner. I get a good shot into him. Now I back up here because I just want to be sure and nothing gets too close. And there the Foch comes around the corner. He tries, or he was thinking about going over the corner. I get a good shot into him, and here this is important. He's actually shooting heat rounds at me. And what's really important here is you see me angling my turret, and this is something you really have to do, I've found, with the E-100, because otherwise you just get torn apart with people who either shoot gold at your turret. I mean, even without gold, you can get penned in the turret. So you have to be really consistent about angling your turret when you're not shooting. So because of that, I was able to bounce two of those Foch's heat rounds. And I'm just ignoring this M103 because I don't want to give the Foch the chance to reload. He's a really dangerous tank, so I want to take him out. So I got the kill shot on him. Unfortunately, because of that, I do take a couple shots from this M103. I would have really liked to have not taken that shot. It's kind of weird the way my turret rotated around the opposite direction that I rotated my chassis, but oh well. So I ended up taking, I think, a couple shots from him, but now I know I'm not going to have too much trouble killing him. I can just side scrape and he won't really have much of a chance to pen me. So I get the kill shot. And unfortunately the Batchat already gets a pretty good shot into my back there. If he hadn't shot me there, I probably would have been more aggressive in the situation, going after the Waffle, because I saw that he was a one-shot for me. I also make, I think, a bit of a mistake here. I was guessing that the Waffle was going to go on the low road, and I was guessing also that he was going to be more aggressive, to be honest, so I was hoping I would be able to run into him and then go after the Object 268 that now must be capping. Instead, I end up just kind of wasting time here and just kind of waiting for him because I'm expecting him to push around. In fact, I think I'll fast forward this a little bit. Because obviously he doesn't seem to be coming down that flank. Now there are 2 enemies on the cap, so either the waffle got on the cap. Well, no, he got off, it looks like. So maybe it was the waffle, maybe it was Artie, I'm not sure. There I got spotted. And judging from my position, I'm guessing that's artillery that was back somewhere over there, trying to aim at me. So I'm just trying to go back and forth. Yep, there, it already hits me, so it probably was the artillery. Now, unfortunately, at this point, it's a bit late for me to go after the cap. I played pretty well at this point. I've done almost 6,000 damage, 3 kills, and taken a lot of shots. But unfortunately, here towards the end, I mean, just the E-100 is not a very flexible tank, and especially when you don't have much health left, it's hard to, it's hard to really be aggressive in these sorts of situations. So at this point, I kind of give up on the cap. The waffle gets spotted, so I'm just going to see if I can get a kill on him. And the cap's taken, and he decides to poke out, and I get a kill shot on him right at the end. So 4 kills, 6,200 damage, which was pretty good. Unfortunately, we lose. It would have been nice to win, but I thought I played pretty well in this round, and did a pretty good job angling. I was really happy with the way I handled that encounter with the M103 and the Foch 155, even though I took a few extra shots from the M103. The fact that I bounced 2 of those shots from the Foch, I was really happy with. So hopefully this round was interesting and gave you a bit of an idea of how to play the E-100 at least. When I have a good game with the 15cm gun, I'll probably try to post that as well, since that's almost always what people use. I can't think of anybody who would choose the 128 over the 15cm. But anyway, let me just show you the end plates here quickly. So you can see I did over 6,200 damage, and including the Courageous Resistance, I got just over 1,100 experience, which is pretty good for a defeat. I was pretty happy with this round. Steel Wall, I had 17 hits received and nearly 10,000 potential damage. So, I'm gradually getting the hang of this tank. Still requires a little bit more playing with it, I think, to be more comfortable with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.